If you're wondering where I come from on my videos, I make a lot of money doing this. I'm not going to lie about it. You can actually go back. If you go back and watch my very first YouTube video, I told you what my goals were with this channel. And I make 90 to 95% of our income for the channel through affiliate links. I do have some sponsorships. They're very few, far in between.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful tonight. As usual, it was supposed to be a very nice, relaxing Friday night stream where we talk about my Thursday night match performance and maybe a few other things that pop on or so. But of course, somebody linked me in the Discord a very interesting video with some very interesting concepts in it that I personally love talking about. And that is Shills and the gun industry / YouTube community, which usually go hand in hand. So this should be a pretty fun little stream looking at some content, quote unquote. But before we get into all of that, Richard, how's your night going?
Great. Had a wonderful week. Hope everybody's doing good tonight.
A wonderful time eating concrete.
Yeah.
Which we will not elaborate on.
We'll just leave it at that.
Before we get going, Logan sucks at shooting for $10 says, we on time this time, let's go. Yes, we were actually approximately 1 minute late, which was not my fault.
Even though I'm 1 month late.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That is a Grand Thumb lover situation, which is different than a focus strip live stream. So not the same thing. All right. Well, I've got another question here real fast. JWaffle199 says, in your opinion, Atlas or ASR hub mount and why? Atlas as in the Reardon Atlas? Atlas personally, because it's lighter, simpler, generally speaking, a little bit cheaper, and it does the same thing. ASR, I've heard some problems with it like a while ago. I've used it a little bit personally. You do get a good selection of muzzle devices from different companies, but it's a little bigger, heavier, and usually, just more complex. It's not my thing. Either Atlas or Xeno or the Griffin Dual Lock, if you need a really secure mounting system, is really good. But ASR would not be my first choice. But thank you for the $199, sir. Appreciate it. All right.
Before we get going, did you want to bring up the relief?
Oh yeah, no, that was the first topic of today. So pinned in the chat is a link to a donation to a local church. If you feel comfortable giving, I'm going to go ahead and give this story out. So Just a Gun Guy, who's a awesome face account on Instagram, who you should all check out. Recently, they had a storm out there where they live in Missouri, which was awful, terrible tornado, just absolutely ruined a lot of what they had in the area, just lots of destruction. So there is a local church in the area because I asked him, hey, are there any good organizations that people can donate to? And it was pretty spotty. However, he is a member of a local church, which is the link that is currently pinned in chat. So if you do want to help out those guys, if you're not familiar with Just a Gun Guy, he actually gave me a lot of the information that on the, the Redwater group that we streamed on Wednesday was actually from him. So on Joey, aka The Shadow, aka Tariq, a lot of that information came from him. So he's helped out the channel, and his community got hit pretty hard. So if you are feeling so inclined to donate to them, go ahead and check out that link, which is pinned in chat. All right. Now, before we get to the main topic of the evening, Grantham's Conscious came in, no pun intended, for $4.99, and it says, at least we know Tranny Grenade is not a shill. Who would pay for that? Well, actually, it's funny. Just seriously, you pay for it because you fund the U.S. military, which he is a part of. Good sir. So, although I'm not sure if they technically can tax a conscious, but either way, thank you very much for the $4.99.
Oh, they can.
If it exists, if it breathes, they could tax it. Bulge Deep in Vagina for $9.99 says, Focus, have you seen the 3 P320s in a trench coat video? Yes, I posted that days ago to my community tab. So I've linked that video before. And it does show, that the 320 can occasionally go off. even with a firing pin safety. Not all of them, but definitely some of them. So thank you for the $9.99. I posted that, I believe, to Instagram and to my YouTube community page. So you should be able to check out that video. It's quite well done by a very funny account named 3P320s in a trench coat. So thank you very much for that. Other than that, I don't know if I can say this yet, but I may or may not have had a conversation with somebody in the know about how to get SIG P320s to go off. And I will probably be picking one up on Monday to see if these issues can be recreated on film, which would be quite entertaining for you all.
You mean you didn't pick one up yesterday when they were on sale for
they're
$320 for $320?
Well, yeah, SIG keeps promoting everything. I loved On X. They posted the 320 day and all the different stuff for it, and all of the comments are just bashing them, except for a few hangers on. So now, there were actually a bunch of 320s in the used case for right around $300, and at that price, I mean that's cheapest made in Korea, India, Israel handguns on the market.
So you mentioned Onyx. Are you familiar with their services overall?
X? No,
no. Oh, I thought you meant Onyx. Never mind.
Oh no, not Onyx. On X, as in formerly known as Twitter. Yeah. I mean, I've used Onyx a little bit, but I don't pay for the service or anything like that.
I've heard of a few guys that say it works pretty good for finding public land for shooting and hunting and such.
Oh, for sure. Not in South Dakota though, but in other places probably for sure.
Yeah, there basically is none in Florida either. That's why I didn't ever mess with it. But where I'm going to be going, hopefully there will be some land that I can access via Onyx. So
yeah, it can work great for that to actually find real places. Let's see. So before we get to the main story, Thursday is match night down in Alda, Nebraska, which is a 4-hour drive for me this week. I didn't take first place. I took second place. Quite unfortunately, you can see, I think that's me right there. I took second by 7 points or so when I lost, I think, 28 points on stage 1, which we won't talk about. Don't worry about that. But here's a couple of the stages that we ran at this week's competition. This is my first time ever shooting a plate rack. And I think I did okay on the first time ever shooting a plate rack.
Stand by. I don't know. You see Star Wars, right?
A couple makeup shots there on the second one, but almost a clean run. Almost a clean run on the first sets of plate racks I've ever run, which was quite fun. And that was a stage win on, I think, stage 2, which was 3 rounds per target, 5 targets. Pretty fun. But overall, I did good in there. I could have easily won the stage or the competition had I not been a retard, but I am known for making disastrous mistakes that cost me way too many points to make it back. So I think I crawled back. I think I was 28 points back to start, and then I ended up losing by 7 or taking second place by 7. So I did make it up in the next 2 stages, but not quite enough to make up for the first stage, which was disastrous. All right. Let me see here, because we got that one. John Shepard, great name, for $5. Actually, there's 3 Johns on screen currently. John Shepard for $5 says, supporting the boys and playing Vidya. Heck yeah, sir. Well, I hope you're playing something fun. Good, sir. Let's see. How long are these stages? Most of them are pretty short. The one stage that was really long, which was the stage that I messed up, you had to walk on a wooden beam up and down the stage, and it cost me a lot of time, having never walked on a wooden beam, and I had to go back at one point to make up a target. It was bad. But the first stage was really long. The next stages were pretty short. So it depends on what you're doing. I think in total, my total time for that competition was 40 seconds for 8 hours of driving. So approximately 5 seconds of shooting per hour of driving. C'est la vie, but that's what you have to do.
That's why it's rough for me to go to competitions outside of like little charity events and stuff like that. Small bullseye competitions at local ranges and stuff. They're 15 minutes, you know?
Yeah, that it is rough. Now, fortunately, starting in May, there are competitions in Sioux Falls, which is only 45 minutes away from me. So fortunately, I will be able to go to something more local. And then next week, we actually have a full classifier match, which will be all 6 classifiers. So I'll actually have my ranking at some point, which if I had to guess, I'm going to do terribly and end up in like B class and be very sad with myself. But today we are, what is going on with the chat? I'll talk about Town.
Ah,
I mean, it's not a great pause frame. I will admit that. Anyways, so Mr. Tactical Toolbox, which is a fantastic name, he put out this video, which I think is also linked in the description, called Stop Trusting Gun Reviews, including mine. Now, his video is 21 minutes long. I didn't feel like watching a 21-minute long video of it. Well, I mean, I watched it multiple times, but I didn't want to respond to everything in there in general. I don't know anything about John, Mr. Tactical Toolbox. I'm not subscribed. I don't really watch his content. I've seen a total of 2 videos now, and it's not exactly my cup of tea, but he does make some interesting claims. Very interesting claims.
yeah,
So-
we can get to some of the things that he's done before. I used to be subscribed to him way back in the day. Well over 5 years ago or so, when he was still showing footage of running matches and things.
Mhm.
Yes, and he still does use awful color anodized parts.
Well, I will look at this later, but I do love the don't make this mistake, full caps locks with the yellow pointing arrow just to random things like testing the world's most over-engineered AR-15. Just great names and everything. Let's see. It's insane. There's no red arrow. This yellow arrow to nothing. Just very funny. Must have AR-15 upgrades pointing to the handguard or something. But yeah, I mean, the content gets good views for him, so no problems there. This was sent to me in the Discord, though, because it is a video about not trusting reviews on the internet or the shills or all sorts of wonderful things that I love talking about. Pop feels mildly entertained. I am mildly happy for you, sir. Trusting gun reviewers? In what world would you do that? Not this one, sir. Not this one.
Certainly not ours.
Well, let's see. Engagement baiting hack. Yes. Well, that's what I do. I am what did I call myself? The this. The chief shill operator without the second bracket for some reason. CSO. So let's pull that back up. All right. So let's go ahead and give this a little listen, shall we?
All right, party people. So in today's video, we are going to talk about why you should never trust a gun review, even my own. So
All right, and we're done. I want to thank everybody for showing up to the stream tonight. I hope that you had a wonderful time and learned just as much as I did, because I saved you approximately 2 hours. Is
Night,
what
everybody.
I'm using for this. Good night. Have a good night. Love you all. I will see you later. Are they still here? All
Yeah,
right.
they're still here.
Yeah, they're still here. Damn it.
put this list together because I was thinking about this the other day, and then I was reading some comments and stuff, and it inspired me to make this video today because I want to make it so that you guys that are watching will understand how to dissect a YouTube video, what to look for, what to look out for. That way, when you're watching videos and you're like, maybe I want to go pick this up, you'll know how to do it in a better way than just watch.
See, this is something that I try not to do. And so it's like, I would never try and teach my audience how to watch a YouTube video. There are a lot of people on the internet that really talk down to their audience. You can see it in the way that they respond. You can see it in the way that they like post comments to Instagram or to other places, like making fun of them all the time. And I do that too from time to time because it is quite funny. You get some fairly interesting people commenting on YouTube videos, but I try not to talk down to my audience. Like, if I were to grab a random person from chat, there's a good chance that they're as intelligent or more intelligent than I am. So I'm not going to sit them down and be like, listen, buddy, I'm going to teach you how to watch a YouTube video and what to take from it. Because a lot of this stuff is going to be extremely basic. And I feel like it is talking down a little bit to your audience. But yeah, which is why I wouldn't want to do this.
Watching videos and making a decision off that. So the number one reason you
I also don't believe in general. I think that's just a misnomer to start, that people watch one video and make a decision based off of that, unless they're like already going to buy the thing, right? They're looking for the first positive opinion they can find and then they click buy, right? At that point, you're not going to do anything to that person that's already made up in their heart either to defend their product to the death or to buy it. You're just background noise for their insert character arc here.
Yeah, I don't know is that anybody watches just a single video and goes and buys a product, and unless it's like you said, basically already sitting in their cart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And they're like, please sell this to me. And that's what I used to do when I was looking at reviews on cheap products before I started doing YouTube videos on them or whatnot. I would be like, oh, here's this. Is it good? Type it into the YouTube search bar. First positive video that comes up, I'm like, all right, there we go. That's got to be good enough for me then.
Yeah, we can get into his background of promoting dubious,
it's all
questionable.
I have a couple things pulled up, so we'll get into it.
Do you have his eBay deal pulled up?
Which one?
Do you have his eBay deal pulled up?
I don't. I will get into the website and the links and the other fun stuff, the stuff that I'm interested in. If you have something specific you want to pull up, then just let me know.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the video, but he did a direct partnership with eBay where he got paid off of everybody who went and bought something from eBay after that using his link. He built a 1911. I believe this was after they had already pulled a lot of the non-California compliant gun parts off of the website.
Really?
I will see if I can find the exact video for it. But yes,
yeah.
he did a direct partnership with eBay.
I buy PSA stuff because of Garanthem videos. Yeah, he sold a lot of product for them. No one can deny that.
100%.
A YouTube gun review is going to be sample size. Blue. And I think we went.
So I cut out everything that he said there because it's so simple. Like, it's such a waste of time. So he talks about sample size. Like, listen, guys, every review is a sample size of one. And then there's like a 3-minute monologue about sample size. It's like, yes, I think that if you are above, even below average intelligence, you're going to understand that when somebody's talking about good or bad with their specific product, they're talking about their specific product. It's kind of such like a baseline thing that I never really want to bring it up. Like, if I spent a couple minutes in every video, whether it's a good video or a bad video, being like, listen, guys, it's just a sample size of one. So I don't know, man. It's like, well, no, this is mine. And I'm going to talk about how mine did. Right. And I try not to concern myself all that much with what other reviewers or individuals think or how theirs perform, right? Not during a specific review. Now, in general, if you're bringing something up on a live stream, that's different. We can talk about, SIG P320s blowing up, even though I've never experienced one. That's all fun to do. Yeah, sample size one is the biggest cop out too. We're going to talk about it because he's gonna specifically bring up the PSA Jackal, which is my favorite. I love it when people do that and they talk about, listen, just because that one weirdo online doesn't like the Jackal doesn't mean that they're bad, which is one of my favorite cop outs.
You shouldn't trust a YouTube gun review is going to be sample size. Blue. And I think we went, 1,500 or 2,000 rounds. It's been a long time since I made the video. Don't quote me on that number, but it was up there. And typically I don't do that many rounds on a review just because it's
self-report. Now, listen, there is some truth to not everybody can do 10,000 rounds on a specific product. And there's most YouTube reviews, there's really no such thing as like a review. Most of them are like impressions videos or first impressions videos or opinion pieces. There's very little objective reviews. And there's a difference between somebody being like, oh, I like this and that about it, or somebody saying like, hey, I shot 10,000 rounds through it and here's my like long-term quote unquote durability review. Like, I think Regular Guy Training is one of those guys who actually does shoot more than just about everyone, and he can post like, hey, here's 89,000 rounds on my Glock 19 Gen 3 or something like that, right? That's a true long-term durability review, right? Not everybody's doing that, and that's totally okay. Now, there are certain products that don't need 10,000 rounds through them. Like, if you're reviewing a precision bolt-action rifle or something like that, couple hundred rounds is probably fine to tell people, hey, it's pretty accurate. Here's the features, and bada bing, bada boom, right? Because it's a pretty simple rifle in general. Now, 200 rounds through a 9mm carry gun, that's nothing. That's the first range session. That you can talk about what you like about how it feels, I guess. But in terms of shootability or durability, you probably don't got that much that you can honestly say about it. And again, it's going to be different for different products. Not every, like optics are an easy one. There's a difference between me saying like this optic looks pretty nice versus like it's the most durable thing of all time. Like I have just today, Andrew Vachon, the mad lad, sent me this Night Force ATACR 2.5 to 10, right? It's one of the hard ones to find. So this is like a, really nice scope, but I'm probably not going to put 10,000 rounds through it because I'm talking mostly about the glass and the performance of it, not necessarily its long-term durability. And so there are different styles of reviews. Not everything has to be a round count or a high round count. Even I don't know what a high round count is for most of these people.
Yeah, it's difficult. Everybody's round count is, that varies. On average, I'll put 200 or 300. When I go to like the pistol range, I'll put 200 or 300, but I might be taking 2 or 3 pistols, right? So
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I try not to shoot less than like 200 rounds on a specific thing in a range session, in a single range session. Like, because if I only shoot like 100 rounds through a handgun, I don't even feel like I got like real work in. It's like if you're working out, but you only do it for 20 minutes, it's like, I mean, you did something, but you don't like get the full effect of it. So like a minimum training session on a specific thing is like 200 rounds for me personally. Preferably 400 to 600 rounds. But it is expensive, right? I'm going to be spending 30 grand this year approximately on ammunition. Not everybody's got that budget. And I'm a small channel, which he's going to call me out specifically later on. I'm a small channel, but I do spend quite a bit on ammo. Yeah, and I mean, there's some things like even 1,000 rounds. 1,000 rounds sounds like a lot, but like on a 9mm handgun, 1,000 rounds is $250, like at your local big box store. It's not that much money for a reviewer, especially if you're getting paid. Some of these guys get paid a lot of money to do this, and they're too lazy to actually shoot the stuff that they own. And then they say 1,000 rounds, that's a real long durability test of what it's capable of. And like, for people like Brass is a little autistic about all that stuff, but he also shoots quite a bit. But he doesn't really do, a lot of people don't do reviews too. And I try not to do that many quote unquote reviews, more like concept pieces and talking about the thing, which we'll get into this later on. As Lance says, 1,000 rounds on a handgun is 2 practice sessions. Yeah. So I shoot through my competition gun about 1,000 rounds a week, maybe 700 rounds a week, right? A week. So at the end of the year, when I'm done shooting competitions in September or so, I'll probably have shot 20,000 rounds through it, if it survives, which will be fun. So again, different standards for different types of shooters, content, and reviews.
Difficult to dedicate that much ammo to each particular video. However, reason number 2 why you probably shouldn't trust any single gun reviewer is sometimes parts or firearms could be cherry picked from the manufacturer to make sure that we get a good one. I can't prove it either way that things are cherry picked or not, but I typically don't think that parts or guns are cherry picked, and here's why. So typically whenever I'm working with a company, let's just use the Angstad Arms as an example. So typically I'm working with their marketing department. Let's move on to...
Okay, I did leave in the little part there about him working with their marketing department. Anyways, cherry picking does happen, not to the level that people expect. There have been like special batches of like Smith & Wesson pistols and stuff like that are pre-production, set aside, go through triple QC, and then they go out to the reviewers, right? That doesn't always happen. Some products are cherry-picked. Now, by virtue of buying and getting sent so many different products, not by companies, but by viewers of the channel, I do get a lot of, not a lot, but some duds, right? And even things that have been sent in the past from companies, like I'll get duds. PSA Jackal famously is terrible in many respects, although honestly, there's not much they could do to not cherry pick the rifle or to cherry pick the rifle, because any one of them that they send is going to be pretty bad. So cherry picking is like a minor issue, but it's pretty far down the line of problems with working directly with companies, I would say.
Yeah.
Did BCA, well, see, that's the thing. Would it have mattered if they cherry picked a BCA? Because it probably would have failed in the same way because it just wasn't machined properly, right? And it's the same thing. Like, is somebody going through the Picatinny slots on a Jackal to figure out if they're in spec? No, nobody's doing that. And they know the problems with the barrels coming loose. Like my barrel now has 2 of the barrel screws loose. The stock broke because the stocks are just known to be garbage, but we'll get into all of that later on.
What? There's problems? New generations? No.
Well, so yeah, and Hop does have a point here. So like 500 rounds, it'll probably go 1,000 or 2,000. It's not till you get beyond that, usually speaking, that you'll find problems. The one exception to that is gas rings for like Palmetto State Armory, their Saber line specifically with the Microbest chrome line bolts. The gas rings just tend to blow out in 500 rounds for some reason. Right. So, and again, it depends on the product too. Like a duty rifle, like you need to, if you're going to say it's the most durable thing of all time, which some of these people do, and they put 500 rounds there, it's like you have no grounds to say that. But again, somebody like RGT, who puts like 90,000 rounds through a Glock, well, he has some standing to say that that's pretty durable. Right.
The reason number 3 why you shouldn't trust YouTube gun reviews. Now, this is something that I think is really important, is every gun tuber out there lives in a different part of the country. Therefore, we are testing products in different climates, in different environments.
Again, this is just such an obvious thing that I wanted to leave it in here because it's one of his points. But it's like, yeah, if you see me out in negative 20-degree weather shooting a Knights and it's failing to cycle, but somebody shooting it in Idaho and it's the most amazing rifle of all time, the viewer just automatically knows. You don't even need to point it out. Like, of course, people know that people tested in different environments. If somebody in Florida says, hey, my gun's rusty, well, it's a different environment than dry South Dakota, right? But it's one of those things, I wouldn't talk down to you to explain it to you like you're a child, because you understand that intuitively just by watching the video. Right. So what does Nut and Fancy always call it? The curse of the desert, when he takes it out into dusty Utah or Wyoming or wherever he's at, and something manages to fail on him or whatnot. It's the curse of the desert. That's his environment. Right. But I get the environment just by watching the video. Right. Like if you see me shoot at one of the really nice ranges down in Pixton where it's nice and it's grass and it's sunny out, like you intuitively know, guess what? That's the way John tested it, until you see me, in the snow or out in the wilderness, out in the grasslands or something like that. You should pretty intuitively know the environment in which I'm testing.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys, at least some of the smaller channels, they'll be doing reviews at indoor ranges. Like Admin, a lot of his reviews, which they're not even really reviews at this point, which I kind of appreciate. His
Correct.
stuff is just purely entertainment, but he still does indoor range reviews, right?
Well, a lot of people have kind of moved away from the quote unquote review meta because it's very muddy, it's very murky. The people that are still doing it the most are some of the people that are the most tied to companies. Right. And so like a lot of the stuff that I appreciate about like Brass Facts or Hops or other creators' content is that it's not always just a dedicated review video. A lot of the times it's a concept of the thing. Like if Hop is talking about like 12 different magnifiers, he's going to talk about like what to look for, the different magnification range, the different usabilities, all the different stuff, without having it just be a dedicated review of here is the Holosun HM3X. It has nice eye relief. The glass looks okay. It's not very expensive. You should buy it. Here's my link, right? Because that sort of video is just...
Yeah, when he did the kitty cat concepts video, right? That was a perfect example of that. He had done his own thing of the exact rifle, and then somebody decided to start reproduction, and then he's going to cover his original and then the new production.
Yep.
And he covers it as a whole.
And that's way more entertaining and informative. And it also doesn't push people to buy a product. It doesn't. It's much just more. Here's what I did. Do you like it? Yes? No? Please respond. I showed you my kitty cat, right?
Somebody might be in the dry desert like I am. Somebody might be up in the Pacific Northwest. Somebody might be in the freezing.
No, that's not true. The only thing that Hop and Brass shill is Venture Surplus and Modern Warriors, and also their animals. So you take that back, good sir.
Blizzard cold of Minnesota. And this brings me to reason number 4. We all look at the products and the pros and the cons of each product through a different lens and a different set of experiences that we all have. For example, and that's going to bring me to reason.
Okay, perfect. I should have put a little break in there so that I knew when I was cutting. But say lovey, that's more editing work for John later. But yeah, so everybody has a different set of expectations too when it comes to firearm reviews and products. Like there are some people that are like, they get a gun, they shoot a couple hundred rounds through it, and they're like, well, when I pulled the thing went boom on the other end, therefore good. And that's like their entire expectation for the product, right? Whereas, let's say for me personally, like, let's say the Knight's Armament review, like it 99% of the time went bang when I pulled the trigger, but that's not enough. That's nowhere near enough. That's nothing. That's the baseline. That gets you in the door. There's nothing else to it at that point. It has to perform to a much higher level. The parts have to last X amount longer. And even though I put like 2,000 rounds through that, the bolt rings, the rings on the bolt, the gas rings did wear out in that time frame. The accuracy was very good. The rail system's kind of fine. It wasn't great to shoot suppressed. So, I mean, like just the fact that it goes bang, you have to have a much higher standard, right? When your standards are low enough, all things become permissible.
Yes.
I was going to put a joke in there about, you know, a certain person who enjoys a certain type of woman, but we'll move on from that. And people's experiences are different. So, for instance, if you force me to review what do I hate? Like a 9mm blowback AR, like I'm not gonna like it that much just from the get-go because I'm like, this is pointless. But if you give it to a Grandmaster PCC shooter and it's a really good one, he's going to be like, oh yeah, it does the things I need it to do. It's accurate, it's fast, blah, 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 right? So there is some of that to be aware of. But again, if people actually watch the person, they're going to know all of this stuff going in. So it's, you know, it's I don't know. I wouldn't want to explain it to my audience because they should automatically know that if they actually watch my stuff. And another thing too is, what was I going to say? Something about perspective or critical. That's right. Something very important that some people just are not is critical, right? If you're going to review, you have to put yourself not in oh, wow, this is fun. I'm shooting guns. This is so amazing. I love everything. Because that's not being critical. That's not going to provide anyone with any sort of useful feedback. Because as negative as I seem to be, or some people think that I am, I love shooting. I love doing all this stuff. It is incredibly fun to go shoot, right? I love a lot of the stuff that I play around with, but I don't let that color me and bias me, right? So for instance, that Canic Rival S is like, oh, it's like the best shooting gun I've ever owned. It has like 34 problems, right? That I'm going to point out every single one. Just because I like the thing doesn't mean I give it a pass. It's an inanimate object. It's not a person. I'm not going to hurt its feelings. So I'm going to be as hard on the thing as possible because it's an inanimate object and I paid money for it and I want it to be good. Whereas some people are like, well, I paid money for it, so now I got to defend my purchase, which is like the opposite style of person that you want to be reviewing product.
So real quick, I just went back through his channel and it appears he may have taken down the video for the eBay affiliates telling people to go buy gun parts off of eBay because it was a violation of YouTube terms of service after a certain point.
Do you have does he have a Rumble? I wonder if we can find it on Rumble.
If not, it'll probably be on the Wayback Machine and I can find it later on after the stream. But if I try to do too many things right now, I'm worried my laptop might drop. So
might blow up.
Yeah.
Garantham's Conscience for $4.99 says, wow, star eye emoji. You shot better than I did in a line of ready virgins on a Saturday night. Thank you very much for making me read that, Garantham's Conscience. I just think I think you're a little sick individual, Mr. Conscience. T Birder 8 for $5 says, I bought an AP5 because of online shills. Sorry, sir. Ran perfect, and then around 700 rounds started having problems. Well, listen, those shills did not put 700 rounds through it, so they would have never known the issues that you could have encountered, sir. You're in uncharted territory on that thing.
Nope, they would have put around $100 worth of ammo through it and
Well,
called it a day.
famously, who was the guy who got the, what was it? It was the Springfield, the Hellcat, the Hellion, that one. He got it as a review sample, put 200 rounds through it, and sold it on Gunbroker the day after.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
It was like literally one rain session. Amazing, great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways, here it is on Gunbroker for retail price, right? So he spent like $100 worth of ammo and then sold it for what are they going for? $2,000, $1,400, $1,500, something like that.
Something ridiculous. 20 at one point in time, I think it was $2,100 was like an MSRP listed.
Jay Waffle has a technical question for 199. It says muzzle brake the best for attaching a suppressor? No, not usually. I mean, it depends on your application. If you're looking for the best suppression, possibly, there are some muzzle device combos that matter more. And I think there's some theory that your muzzle brake can help protect your blast baffle. There might be some validity to that. However, I know that some cans don't like muzzle brakes in terms of flash suppression. So if you are looking for true signature reduction in terms of not just the sound, but also the flash reduction, some cans do not play well with muzzle brakes. So unfortunately, if nobody has done a detailed video on it or a Reddit post or a forum post, you might have to play around a little bit to figure out what works best for your specific suppressor barrel length ammo combo, which is unfortunate. But that is the way it is. I usually run flash hiders most of the time. Nick for $10 says, from a manufacturer's perspective, I don't even know how you cherry pick. I guess you just put it through some QC if you normally don't do any. Otherwise, a good company will QC nearly every part so that they're all in spec. So, all right, all right, here we go. I'm totally not spilling the beans on any company specifically, but there was a company that was QCing one gun out of every 100, and then recently they changed to 1 out of 1. Okay. So for a cherry picked lot, they're like, okay, these 10 guns are going out to XYZ reviewer, and they're just going to perform like a double QC check on it, basically, maybe even a advanced function test. And then that gives them peace of mind to be like, okay, we at least know that these are like as good as they should be, right? Within a reasonable amount. They're not going to put 10,000 rounds to the guns to make sure that they work, because that would be counterintuitive, but they'll do like an extra QC check, or they'll QC every single one versus that 1 in every 10, 1 in every 100, 1 in every 50, right? And that's really about as cherry picked as you can get. Because at the end of the day, it's still a gamble, right? Because even if you put 100 rounds through something, that's not going to like figure out or cause a metallurgic issue that might take 500 or 5,000 rounds to appear in that advanced function check, right? It is possible, but it doesn't do that much.
Now, as far as the influencer guns that get handpicked for reviews to explicitly be sent out to reviewers, correct me if I'm wrong, but on those, they'll grab, 8 to 12, and then they will do a run through on all of them, and then they will send them out to reviewers. They have a certain window of time to do the review, and they have to send it back, and then it goes on to another reviewer afterwards.
That happens. That depends on the company. Like, so a lot of the Springfield is one that does this notoriously, is with the Hellion or the Echelon or the Prodigy or any of their guns. They try and get like different guns to different people, and they all move around. So you have to film your video in like 2 weeks, and then it's on to the next guy, and then it all goes up on the same time. Right, for a what do they call that? Coordinated embargo launch. Well, it's an embargo date, right? But it's a coordinated launch, a coordinated media push, and this is a marketing strategy so that everybody's Instagram feeds and YouTube subscription feeds are filled up at the same time. So it is impossible for you to miss some content on it, right? And companies are known for doing that, and some of them in the contracts might even have certain requirements about issues not being able to be posted or other clauses that might be of interest, but that's all allocations. So, yeah. Huge ass for $4.99 says Hop lures you in with his concepts, then he hard sells you his Nephilim lesbian lifestyle. Yes, that's the end goal of the Hoplifile. T-Birder of 8 for $2 says, I used to work at L3 Harris. They QC'd 1 out of every 100 radios. That sounds about right. Most places it's 1 in 100. Again, I used to work in the steel industry where we had, I think, 6 CNC machines in the back. Certain customers would call for 1 out of 50, 1 out of 10 for a QC check, and other customers 1 out of 100. Now, sometimes if we were winning an advanced contract or like $1 million contract for this one very specific part, we would have to QC 1 for 1 the first 100 parts or first 1,000 parts. And if those got installed and worked properly on the assembler end, then after that, we could go to a 1 in 10, 1 in 50, 1 in 100, whatever it happened to be, right? But for those initial parts, like you would for a marketing review, for those initial parts, they would do a double, triple QC inspection to make sure that we could actually win that contract because it's a lot of money. All right.
Number 5, not everybody is using the same type of ammo, and not everyone is using the same exact mags. As a good example of that would be, let's say somebody's testing a Glock clone, and with that Glock clone, maybe person A is only testing it with, say, OEM Glock mags, and say person B is only testing it with ETS group mags, and person C is only using Magpul P mags. The reason that's important is whenever you're shooting it, if the gun starts malfunctioning, it could be the magazine. And if you don't try every single type of magazine that's available for them, then sometimes things can simply go wrong. And that gun tuber might report that the gun doesn't work correctly when it was simply a magazine. Reason number.
So the magazine ammo cope is another one that I greatly dislike. For instance, any Glock clone should work with Glock factory magazines. Any AR-15 should work with PMags, and realistically, they should work with all the magazines on the market, basically, other than like Pro Mag or like really crappy magazines, right? Because like the Knights Armament, again, go back to that one. That one there didn't like some Duramags, the aluminum mags, and it also didn't like Lancer magazines. Now, Lancer magazines can cause issues in some guns, so I kind of give it a pass on that one. But even so, you should still know that, you know, magazine finicky rifles are just annoying. And I think personally that they should run with all of the quality magazines on the market. Ammo, again, you know, if I buy like a nice M193 load or 223 load, whatever it happens to be, and the gun doesn't run because it's designed to run with like only the hottest 5.56, maybe some people give that a pass because it's tuned to be as soft shooting with full power ammo or in conjunction with a suppressor. That can also be fine in some instances as long as it's well known. But again, if like my M193 load that's like 3,100, 33,050 FPS out of a 16-inch barrel isn't running in some upper, I'm probably not going to give it that much of a pass just because, well, you're actually only supposed to use Hornady 55 grain Barnes TSX loadings to cycle in our system. I'd be like, no thanks. Steel ammo is a little bit of a different story because, you know, some guns aren't gassed to run steel ammo. They're just not set up to run like that for the factory because they're designed to be softer shooting. They're designed to be used in conjunction with a suppressor, and opening them up to run with steel case just isn't ideal. Now, with an AK, like if an AK isn't running something, there's just a huge problem. It's like, what are you doing that it's not running with this ammo, right? Well, and yeah, so reman ammo is a special case because some guns, some rifles have really tight chambers, right? Because they're designed for accuracy. And so some of them don't like remanufactured ammo that much. So reman ammo, I never use in reviews. At least I haven't for like a year because every now and again, I just have a problem with it. And it's like, well, do I blame the ammo or do I blame the gun? So I just try and get rid of all of that because it does muddy the waters a little bit. It's like, do I blame the ammo or the gun? I try and just use high quality factory ammo and I have very little issues. Habibi Father LWRC number 1. I agree for the most part. Like number 1 through 3, somewhere in there. 1911 eBay videos are on Gunstreamer. Thank you, Blame. Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, I knew they were out there. I just I couldn't find them, and then it dawned on me afterwards that he probably took them down as a result of.
Honestly, Gunstreamer, I forgot that thing even existed.
I did too.
Yeah. Wow.
Number 6. Round count doesn't guarantee reliability and durability. Sometimes channels will do 500 rounds through a gun or a part before they make a video about it. Some say I'm always going to do 1,000 rounds. But why did we set these numbers of say 500 rounds or 1,000 rounds? Well, it comes down to this. Most gun tubers don't have the resources to dedicate more than 1,000 rounds to each individual part or gun that they're reviewing. Now, reason number 7, we're going to go.
Okay, round count. So the reason why 500 or 1,000 rounds was put out there is because it's easy and attainable, and it doesn't cost the YouTuber all that much. And 1,000 like sounds like a big number in theory, especially like to people who don't shoot that much, right? To people who might shoot 100 rounds a year, 1,000 rounds on a gun, that's a lot of time, right? To, again, like a competition shooter or somebody like me, who I'm shooting a lot, 1,200 rounds a week or something like that in total, right? To me, it's not that much, right? It's like, well, I spent like a few days with the gun and now I'm giving it a review. You know, you can definitely know how a rifle feels or how a handgun feels in 1,000 or 2,000 rounds, but there's a difference between just a review, as in like an opinion piece, or a like long-term durability test. Because like even some of the other videos that are out there, like again, Regular Guy Training is a good guy who can actually put a lot more ammo than most people through, like 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, you know, all the way up to insane round counts on some of the products that he talks about. So an axe to grind, you're here. I don't know why you think you're muted. You're definitely here, sir. I see you.
Yeah, I'm seeing them too.
But also like M26 was talking about, like, when he has his AKs lose headspace after like 400, 500, 600 rounds or something like that. That's a pretty big indication that your gun's not going to last as long as it should, or at some point it's going to turn into a grenade on you, which, while it fits his name, is probably not ideal for your long-term health.
Go a little bit down a rabbit hole here because this seems to be a hot topic that pushes on everyone's buttons with viewers as well as other gun tubers and stuff like that. Reason number 7 that you probably shouldn't trust a gun review is we could all be shills. Now, before we go down this rabbit hole,
we could be shills.
If you're wondering where I come from on my videos, I make a lot of money doing this. I'm not going to lie about it. You can actually go back. If you go back and watch my very first YouTube video, I told you what my goals were with this channel. And I make 90 to 95% of our income for the channel through affiliate links.
Correct. Right. Now, this was, I think it only took 3 minutes of the initial like 15, as I think right at about the 14-minute mark is where stuff starts to get interesting. So I think I just left the last half of this video basically in this.
Good, because he gets into some interesting stuff later on.
Define our terms. What exactly is a shill? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, a shill is an accomplice of a...
I prefer the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Which, so according to Merriam-Webster, which is again a little different, a shill is someone who promotes or supports something or someone for pay, often in a dishonest or misleading way. Learn the origins and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so dishonesty is what comes to mind, right? Because it is somebody who is saying one thing and pretending not to work for, in this case, a gambler or a company, when in reality they get kickbacks from them, which is essentially what affiliate links are. They're kickbacks from the company for you selling products, which we'll talk about. Yes, big Miriam shill. The Miriam check did not bounce. Unbelievable.
Promise going to run in with a frying pan.
Yeah. Bam.
Gambler or swindler who acts as an enthusiastic customer to entice or encourage others. I think it's very important to understand our definitions because obviously in this day and age, and this isn't only with gun tubers, this is with any niche on YouTube where people are reviewing products. People are always worried that maybe if they get a sponsorship or if they get paid or if they get some kind of kickback, that is going to prevent that person from reviewing the product objectively and being honest. People are...
Yes. Anytime you see a financial relationship between the person and the product they are reviewing, that should at least alert you to the possibility that they may not be entirely forthright with you, right? Yes, that is a big deal. RTX 5090 reviews come to mind. I mean, the gaming industry is a good one for this. There are like half of the video game review websites are legitimate shills, right? Because as soon as they criticize a product, well, then they don't get early access to those products from those publishers. MSI very famously tried to strong arm its product reviewers into not releasing negative reviews and like threatening them with never giving them product, for suing them for breach of contract and all this other stuff. So this sort of thing happens. It's only in the gun industry where people are like, shills, like, it's something that might happen somewhere, but not really. You don't need to worry about it. Anyways, please click the links. Please click the links. Please click the links. Sad. A moment of silence for Mr. Bacon Industries. Sorry, sir.
Worried that people will withhold the bad things that happened with the product and only show the good things. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but one thing that we all need to understand is not everyone is in love with money. And the reason I say that is some people have a different currency than others that makes them feel good. So some people,
this is gonna be my favorite part. Yes, money is the easiest one because it's very cut and dry. Somebody has money, but there are ulterior motives as well that come into play. But money is the easiest one, so it's the one that people gravitate towards the most.
well, yeah, it might be money. For some people, they care about clout. For some people, they care about being a contrarian. A good example of this, so let's just say you stumbled across a YouTube channel. They do a bunch of different gun reviews or whatever, maybe tech reviews. It doesn't even matter. Every time there is a gun that comes out that's popular, what's a good example? I guess a good example of this could be something like this guy, the
Yes, we're there. The PSA Jackal. Here it is, the ultimate non-shill piece. The greatest rifle of all time, some might say. Now, my favorite part about the Jackal is that it's garbage from head to toe, and it's very funny to make fun of. And it's also one of the most shilled products of all time, which makes it additionally funny to somebody like me who gets to point it out every time. It's just fun. We just get to do this it's like they do the same things over and over again. It never gets boring. Whoever, no, it's gonna be hyper specific in just a second. It's gonna be very specific. Some of these guys have smaller channels, some of them under 70K. It's gonna be very, very specific in just a minute. AK screw build, the Jankel. Yeah. All right. Can I hit that? There we go. All right, let's go.
PSA Jackal. You know, this thing got a lot of hype. Grand Thumb did a big review on it. And I think that's why people started.
Can I talk about this? So me and Garantham talked a little bit back in the day, right? When I got kicked off by PSA or whatnot. And me and Garantham agree on the Jackal. It's bad. And I have the DMs to prove that. But that's not what his video said, though. So maybe some of these people are less than honest. Maybe.
Jackal. You know, this thing got a lot of hype. Grand Thumb did a big review on it. And I think that's why people started kind of nitpicking at it. Everyone was reviewing the gun. I haven't even put out my review yet. But the contrary.
Good sir, you have a video 2 years ago. Must have gun of 2024 before it's gone. That's a Jackal, sir. I think you reviewed 2 of them in this video, or at least recommended them and pushed links for them in that video. Maybe we'll take a look at that one next. I don't know. Maybe that could be interesting.
Well, he has a habit of repeating videos. If you check the private chat, the link I sent you is the exact same video, but 5 years ago.
No, that's so funny. It's the same thing. Man, it's the same length too.
It's the exact.
Bro, this is amazing. That's amazing.
His channel just repeats itself every couple years, and he makes even more money off of the like if you go back and talk to the check out the very first video, the one he was talking about, he said, I've been open and honest about my channel from the very beginning. He says that he wants to turn $100 a month into $10,000 a month using social media and affiliate links. That was his first video. how to turn $100 into $10,000 a month.
Well, as da says, you got to admit he has 1 million subs. He knows what he's. Yeah, no, he's making really good content, and I mean that in the worst way possible. Like, he is making fantastic content, right? And some of you enjoy his content. That's fine. It's chill. I have nothing personal against him, but I just think some of the ideas in the video are slightly off.
So he may have 1 million subs, but if you check his older videos had overall more engagement. Now it seems like people aren't necessarily watching as much of the videos. I could be I
think you're
looking
right.
at a couple.
You're right. It is going down a little bit, but I mean, he's still getting like you're getting if you're on GunTube and you're getting 100,000 plus views a video, you're doing okay, right? The engagement ratio might be down, but he's still. I mean, like 8 months ago, we had a 500,000 view video. That's not bad.
Yeah. But some of his other stuff was regularly getting that 500 to 700, and he was, at 500,000 subs or less at the time.
So Rondo Brondo says, Focus Trip, I don't know why you just don't show the whole video instead of editing things. Because there's only certain things that I'm interested in responding to. It's a 22-minute video, something like that. I don't really know this guy, but I happened to watch the video right before. Your rage baiting and troll baiting, lol. I'm just responding to some of his arguments within the video, or some of the things that he says within the video. And some of them I find quite funny, and others not so funny, right? And obviously people enjoy it as well.
And also, if we took the time to respond on a 20+ minute video, just this video would take us an hour and a half. Right? I mean, we're only 4.5 minutes in and we're already there for an hour. Oh,
it is rough sometimes. Just like Will Harm. Sometimes it's rough going. All right. Gosh dang it, this could take forever. Mad Skills for $2 says, any guns you wish had more aftermarket support? Well, I'm only really into real guns like Glocks and ARs for the most. Like, I have a silly competition gun, but it just does that thing. It just needs to attach a dot to it. That's all I need for that. But not really. I mean, is there? Well, I mean, really, if the ACR was still around, I wish that did have crazy aftermarket support and it was like $9.99. That would be my ideal world. What about you, Richard?
More aftermarket support. I would have to say probably the Garand Power line of pistols, because there's basically nothing there. They're a really good pistol, really good buy for what you get. I picked one up in the sub $300 used, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's basically nothing there. They finally just came out with an optics ready slide.
More aftermarket support for the Yeet cannon. Yeah.
Why do you need aftermarket support for it? High Point does all of the support that they have all the support right there.
Mitzvot TV for $4.99 says, Hop looks like Nephilim Tactical Kevin Bacon. Oh, that's good. If Hop was in Tremors, he would have started rating the graboid and trying to hug it. Lol. Yes, maybe that would have solved the problem. De-escalate everything. Has anyone tried to hug the thing yet? I don't think so. Huge Ass for $4.99 says, round count doesn't matter, coming from a guy who likely believes that IQ doesn't exist. No comment. I don't know the guy personally, so I don't know any of his political, social, economic beliefs or anything like that.
The one time when I believe 500 round count videos and reviews are acceptable is James Reeves' 500 round count shotgun videos.
Well, shotgun burn down, but that's the thing. A burn down is just that. It is, I'm going to put 500 rounds through this shotgun in as little time as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what that is, right? Which is perfect, right? Because you're not saying this is a long-term durability test review, ultimate, excellent, fully inclusive review video. You're like, this is a 500 round burn down, right? Perfectly honest within the title. You're getting exactly that. And again, on some systems, you don't need 500 rounds. Like if there was a guy who had shot like 20 rounds through his Desert Tech MDR, and the nitriding on the barrel had started to like flake off or something, and it's like, do you really need to continue shooting that to tell me that the QC might be a little bit off? Probably not. You probably don't, right?
Well,
There are some things where you don't even need to shoot the thing to be like, something is off here, something is wrong, and that's not a review. That's just putting out information to people, like, hey, I think this is a little off,
and
without even firing a shot.
We discussed that a little bit about
We have
the Turkish shotguns, because I have one in my possession currently. That's a total POS that doesn't even chamber the second round. It will fire. It is a single shot semi-auto shotgun.
That's actually a safety feature.
California compliance. And the worst part about it is when I contacted them, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's probably just this pin that's broken in the fire control on a brand new gun."
Right. Of course.
That means that they have had this issue before. They know about it, and they're not doing anything at all to fix it, aside from just fielding the reports of it when they come in. That bothers me even more, because I know that they're still pushing these things regularly.
Well, yeah, it's much cheaper. It's much cheaper to continue going with production versus stopping production and fixing the problems, right? Same thing with PSA, like same thing with SIG. The idea of stopping production on a 320 to fix problems and adjust the design is going to cost tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, versus like just continue to pump them out and we'll settle some lawsuits out of court, right? That's their goal.
And it's even worse because they say, well, you can't just bring it into us and drop it off, right? Because I drive past their facility every week. I am literally 10 minutes away from them. I drive past it regularly. And yeah, they won't let me just drop it off. They say, nope, you have to mail it in. You have to go through the transfers. Yep. It's like, all right, you're going to make it incredibly difficult to do anything. So, but yeah, we'll get on.
An Axogrind for $4.99 says, I've been on GunTube since 2008 when there were no sponsorships or backdoor relationships. Channels like yours are refreshing, Mr. Tripp. Thanks. Well, thank you very much for the compliment, sir. I hope to have as little industry connections as possible. Thanks. Illinois equals poop emoji. Yeah, I'm glad I don't live in a tough area like that in terms of gun restrictions.
That's not quite what the super chat said. I don't think it was IL.
It's funny on Streamlabs, it just pulls up the initials, so all I saw was IL. So I know what you're talking about. That's funny. Thank you, sir. Mark for $1.99. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Says nothing, drops it on the table, walks away like a boss. Spanky Jones for $19.99. Thank you for the huge support, sir. Also, great name. This is the most gaslighting nonsense I've seen, selling his credibility by saying the viewer should still check his proclaimed self-interested motives, but now we should trust him because our distrust was legitimate. Well, again, the video ended within the first 5 seconds when he said not to trust any gun reviews, including his own, right? At that point, you close out of the video and you go about your day, and you saved approximately 22 minutes. I mean, he was honest. Maybe.
Yeah.
DM Louise for $5 says, what about these gun tubers charging production fees to some of these gun companies? Cough, honest outlaw, cough. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Even in this video, I believe Mr. John from Technical Toolbox is going to talk about production fees for videos. Now, the only time that I would want to work with a company is if I was like a paid employee on their marketing team and I could just like post to their social media and make videos for their social media, right? Because that's obviously I'm working for that company, making videos for them, right? Not on my channel, pushing it off like, oh yeah, guys, here's this really cool new thing. And it's on my personal channel, but behind the scenes, I'm getting paid $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month to show their products, right? That to me is dishonest. I'd rather just, if I'm going to do product reviews for a company and get paid for them, I'd rather just be on their payroll, right? And it can all be in the open, perfectly public, all that sort of stuff, rather than backdoor production fees for videos, where essentially you're now their marketing department.
Backdoor Productions?
Yeah, that's a good name. You should copyright that. Mark 199, says it again. It says, I saw this last night and thought, focus trip. Yeah, there were also some people in the comments of the original video, like a timestamp with just my name next to it. Huge ass again for $4.99 says James Shills for big corporation, short shorts, and baby oil. Yeah, tough sponsors to get, especially the baby oil one. But if you're talented like James, you can get just about any sponsorship out there. He had to fight the baby oil sponsor boss, which was Diddy, and he won because he got the sponsorship. So,
or the person that's chasing clout typically doesn't have the largest channel. Usually they're around 100,000 subscribers or less. And
punching down. Damn it. Making me feel bad for my 70K that I have here. Unbelievable.
No, I'm sure he's talking about me.
Or you. That's true. It's true. You were definitely under 100K for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. So it's just, it's like the Jackal, the sub 100K. It's just things are adding up here. Exactly. Yeah. Punch down and up. That's the thing. Who cares? If you put out a video on the internet, you are fair game. And that includes me. Feel free to go after me for whatever reason. It's usually quite entertaining. Damn it, David. You're still a beacon of hope. That had finally started to die off. 70K is lame. I agree. 70K subs, truly pitiful and disgusting. Agreed. Subhuman. 70K subhuman.
And the reason that they are typically saying negative things, I'm not saying everybody's like this. So if you're watching this, or if you've got a favorite gun tuber that gave this gun a negative review, I'm just using this as an example. But I have noticed this with a lot of smaller channels. They're trying to break through the algorithm to get their videos seen. And so what they'll do is they'll say, this gun sucks.
See, but this is the thing. It's always disingenuous when they do this sort of thing. It's like, well, they're just saying it to break through the algorithm. They never address the actual issues with a product. And the whole idea that only small channels point out problems while big channels gloss over them. I mean, that's essentially the argument that he's making, right? Small channels are contrarian, big meanies, the big mean small channels, not like us, the million sub big channels. We're the good guys because we're like the nice guys, not the meanies. Don't be a meanie, be nice. Something like that, right? It's like you can't be mean to an inanimate object online. Yeah, yes, I can.
I sure can.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yep, Springfield is inanimate, and all of their animation goes on in Croatia.
Well, so the Humble Marksman has a good point. Listen, if negativity, I saw this argument on somebody else's live stream where they were talking about too much negativity in the gun industry. And I say not enough, but they were like, negative channels only do it for views. Like, I'd be so much bigger if I did negative reviews. It's like, listen, the negative review channels, or just the people that are honest and harsher, right, on products that have a higher standard for their products, they're not bigger. The biggest channels, by and large, are fluff pieces or the most entertaining. It has nothing to do with the criticism of the product. Usually, if you are a known like negative reviewer or a harsh reviewer, there's a small section of the audience that will like you, but like 90% of normies, they're going to be like, oh, that guy, ugh, get rid of him. Show me the Grand Thumb video. Show me the admin video. Gosh, get that negativity off my screen. I can't handle it. And that's because YouTube is mostly just for entertainment, which is perfectly fine, which is why I am incredibly content to be here in my small little niche doing my thing, and the big YouTubers can fight it out amongst themselves for who gets the corporate dick or whatever it is.
Oh man, look at this. And then at the end of the day, they have a sample size of 1. Now, and I've done this too in the past, and
Yes, but when we go back to the sample size of 1, the positive review and the negative review have the same sample size, so we can remove those from the conversation. Oh, good point. Logan brings us up. So with the donation link that is pinned to the top of chat, if you scroll back to the original, to the start of this stream, it's to a local church that helps in the area. The fund that gets used for relief is the general fund. The general fund goes to relief in the area.
Yeah, for those who weren't paying attention, tornado came through, a lot of devastation. We're just trying to help out a local church of a gentleman who sent us some info. Seems to be a pretty good guy. So please go give him some assistance.
At the end of the day, they have a sample size of 1. Now, and I've done this too in the past, and I've learned from my mistakes. Just because the one that I got sucks doesn't mean that they all suck. And so should we, are we going to talk about the Jackal now or later? We might talk about it later, but there's
There's the issue specifically with a jackal, right? A jackal might have the barrel fall out. A jackal might have an out of spec pick rail. A jackal might have a bad stock. But conceptually, there's problems with the raw design of the product, like the 320. You might have an individual 320 that's fine, but there's still like you can't just gloss over the design issues with the product, which is why I am very comfortable saying that the jackal is crap, even if you have a jackal that does not have one or two of the issues that mine does. Conceptually, it's a bad gun that's overpriced and doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
I think even PSA would agree that it had problems, right? Hence the reason why they're ditching the Gen 1s and coming out with a completely proprietary Gen 2.
Correct. Yes. Well, and they agree with me. They agree that the Gen 1 needs to be replaced. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Palmetto State Armory. Focus trip, stream, drinking game, take a shot every time a remotely Semitic reference is dropped. Well, Semitic refers to a group of languages usually associated with the Middle East. So, I mean, that's
Everyone.
a big chunk of the population, sir.
So sometimes people are just chasing clout. The gun could have ran fine for them, but they want to find something wrong with it. That way they can get clout, and that way they can make their video get views. So I think it's important to understand that not everyone is compromised by money.
Do I have to play his clip again? I mean, I don't know. Does anyone believe that there are no issues with the jackal and people only make up issues for clout? Like, does anyone like really believe that it's just negative Nancy's that say there are some design problems with the jackal?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Some people are chasing clout. Some people just want to be a contrarian because they don't want to fit in with everybody else. If you're wondering where I come from on my videos, I make a lot of money doing this. I'm not going to lie about it. You can actually go back. If you go back and watch my very first YouTube video, I told you what my goals were with this channel. And I make 90 to 95% of our income for the channel through affiliate links. I do have some sponsorships. They're very...
This is not edited. This is the last 10 minutes straight of his video, good sir. You can go back and watch it again. The jump cuts are him. He jump cuts, right? That's his thing. Go back and watch the video again, sir.
few far in between, and nobody ever pays me to make a video. Now that might change in the future just because I might charge what's called a production fee, where I'm going to be paid for my time for these expensive cameras and audio equipment that I'm using on the wear and tear on that. But don't worry, I'll always be forthcoming if I'm paid or if I'm sponsored by something, and I'll always be forthcoming whether or not I'll get a kickback on it. You know, not everything that I review has an affiliate link with it, but I'll review.
That is true, but the vast majority of the stuff does. Like, just for reference, let's pull up the Jackal video because I did think that this was quite fun.
All right, party people.
I did think about going through this video as well, but this is another like 25-minute long video. Let's see here. So if we click on the parts list and we go here, it goes to the website. Yes, I'm over 18. Here's the thing. So affiliate link 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, more random stuff, and then it just goes. It's just affiliate links there. My all-time favorite Ear Pro. This is my favorite one. So this is a link. This is to the Axle. I used to work with Axle. They sent me a couple things. I canceled my affiliates with them. The affiliate rate for Axle is 22.5%, which means that they're paying a big chunk of each sale, which I think is $100, roughly $100 per pair of headphones. And then I think there's a sale as well, usually like 35% off, of course. That goes to the creator. So pushing these headphones makes a lot of money for people. A lot of money for people, right? So I don't. It's a weird thing to say that money doesn't matter, and being a contrarian is for clicks and money when you peddle like 20 different products in each one of your videos with a link. And we'll get into some more reasoning on that in just a moment.
Yeah, Axel is basically Raycon for the shooting community.
Ooh, that's a good thing. That's a good point. Good comparison.
Do something for free if I think that it's going to bring a value to you guys, the viewers. And that's just kind of where my head's at. You might be wondering, okay, cool. If you're using affiliate links, won't that compromise what you say about it? Because wouldn't you want to entice people to go click and buy the product? I made a video about this
Yes, when you make money directly off of the sales of the product, you are you are going to be enticed to get people to click on that product. Now, he has an even deeper level of uh, reasoning here that we're going to get into.
In 2019, going into further detail about this, I think it was called I made 30 something thousand dollars off negative reviews. And here's the deal, right? Back in 2019, when I made videos, I wasn't monetized at all. I turned monetization off because they kept taking down my videos. So I turned off monetization, and it helped keep my videos from getting taken.
Dixie has a good point. So, can we talk about all of these CCW insurance companies that have appeared and GunTubers are shilling? One of them is a PSA side corp, Right to Bear. Yes, Right to Bear reached out to me like 2 years ago, and they're like, "Do you want to come on and we'll pay you X amount for this and this flat dollar amount per sign up? You'll make a lot of money." And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I'm not really interested in selling fear porn or something. Was my response to it, and then they just never messaged me again. So, yeah, I could probably pull up their ad rates for what they were. They were quite a bit of money per sign up, I want to say. So it could have been a lot of money, Dixie. I could have made a lot of money off of that like years ago, but maybe I'm just not interested in shilling products all that much.
Taken down. But so all of my income was from affiliate sales. But you got to think about
Right. So, I mean, if you're saying, hey, all my income's from affiliate sales, I'm not biased to push affiliate links, though. It's like, well, of course you are, good sir. Of course. Of course. And if you asked him to remove the affiliate links, he would probably say, well, then I can't afford to do YouTube. Right? Which is a nasty circle that some people get into. Like, for instance, we're going to talk about in just a minute, Grand Thumb and some of the bigger content creators, like they have like multiple ad reads in a video at like 10 to 30K minimum for those ad reads, because they have to pay, in Garantham's case, maybe alimony. But for other people, they're paying for content creators. They're paying for studios. They're paying for cameramen. They're paying editors. They're paying all this other stuff. So they actually can't stop taking the ad reads. They actually can't stop shilling for SDI. They can't stop pushing the affiliate sales, right? Because they actually can't afford to now because, yeah, they're making a lot of money, but also now they're paying out a lot of money as well. So people get trapped in this very vicious cycle of forced shillery, and that's how they get you. They get you in these contracts and whatnot, and then you never leave.
from getting taken down. But so all of my income was from affiliate sales. But you got to think about it like this, right? So let's pretend I'm reviewing this Radeon Model 1 right here. And I always create a parts list for every video. Now, one of those links is going to be to a third-party retailer that carries this. So if you click that link and you don't purchase the Radeon Model 1, they're still going to give me credit for whatever your cart total is. And so it doesn't matter to me if you purchase the part that I'm reviewing. I really don't. I think that everybody should make their best decision. My goal with these videos,
now that's important. Let's back up just a second, just to make sure everybody understands that.
going to give me credit for whatever your cart total is. And so it doesn't matter to me if you purchase the part that I'm reviewing. I really don't. I think that everybody should make their best decision. My goal with these videos is to simply tell you what my experience was. Was it good or was it bad? And then I tell you if I think it's worth the money. But then again, what does my 2 cents even mean, right? I'm not saying this to say holier am thou.
So if you missed that there, very importantly, even if you don't buy what he's shilling, you're already on the website. So whatever you buy goes through his link, right? So it's like it's advanced stage. I don't even care what you buy, just buy something. You don't have to buy what I'm reviewing, but whatever you do buy, I make money off because you're using my links, right? And that's the thing that I don't like affiliate links. I think it's scummy, it's bad, and it leads you down to this. This is where that inevitably leads you to. If you make an insane amount of money off of affiliate links, you begin to depend on that money from affiliate links, and then everything gets pushed to that, right? Because that's how you make money. So it's like, it's kind of even worse, I would say, because you're like, you don't have to buy the thing that I recommend, just buy anything, right? It's literally just the most consumery possible mindset. Whereas mine is, you should buy as little as possible. Most of the stuff is garbage. Most of these people are liars. You should put your money into things that are worthwhile, which is not SDI. It's not Right to Bear. It's not PSA. It's, very simple things that you can truly spend very little and get a lot out of, right? And unfortunately, YouTube is just a shill space and a place for rampant consumerism with no benefit to the actual viewer.
Now, I do want to say one thing as far as buying anything after you're already there, once you have clicked and went through the affiliate link itself. I do know some people who tell their audience, if you want to be able to help out, take any one of the affiliate links, pin it, and anything that you buy, just buy it after you go through there. Any of the stuff that you would normally be buying from Amazon anyway, if you
People
want to
do
help
that.
out. Now,
Right.
I don't
That can
mind
be a
that.
way. That can be a way for support. But when it's like literally like, I don't care what you buy from PSA, just buy something.
Yeah.
You know, that's like maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
That
yeah, yes, of course, of course. He's got the I don't even know what this is. The Brixton Trademark Supply Company thing, a hat and shirt. I mean, probably right.
I really don't. I think that everybody should make their best decision. My goal with these videos is to simply tell you what my experience was. Was it good or was it bad? And then I tell you if I think it's worth the money. But then again, what does my 2 cents even mean, right? I'm not saying this to say holier am thou or anything. I'm just being real with you. And I'll be honest with you. I've met a lot of gun tubers, and almost every single gun tuber that I have met, whether they are sponsored, whether they get paid to make videos, or whether they use affiliate links, in our private conversations, I don't think that anyone is purposely manipulating, if that.
This is going to come into play and be contradicted in, I think, less than 60 seconds. Less than 60 seconds. I believe he's going to go back on this statement about everybody that he's met in person. He believes them to be truthful. I think this is going to get undone in the next 60 seconds.
That makes sense. Now, I have heard stories about people, which is going to bring us to our next point on this. And this isn't really going to be reason number 8. This is going to be a continuation of reason number 7. I'm going to call this section logical fallacies that a lot of viewers fall into when watching gun channels. Logical fallacy number 1. All big channels are shills. Therefore, I only trust the small channels. Now, let's think about
all channels of all sizes can be shills. There's equal opportunity shillery around. I think there was one channel that was really small, like under 10K subs, and they were doing like a review video every like 100 rounds or something like that, just to pump up the content numbers, I guess. But no, there are shills at every level. Now, I will say, the propensity to be a shill and the amount of money of YouTube and ads and sponsorships, I think, are tied hand in hand. There can be big channels that are good, but for the most part, probably not. Yep. Big channels have big overheads, which requires big sponsor bucks, which means that you need to toe the company line.
about
you
this
need to be
from its
compliant.
logical conclusion. Big channels can make money all they want, regardless of what industry they're in. They're going to make money through just people watching their videos being monetized. The bigger gun channels are fully monetized on YouTube right now, as far as I know, like Demolition Ranch, Grand Thumb, all.
I'm pretty sure Grantham does not have monetization on his channel. Pretty sure he turned that off. For when you're big enough like that, he makes like 50 to 75K per video on just ad spots. So I think he's doing okay there. On top of, I'm sure he has other contracts in place, plus his company on research, which is his wife's name, ex-wife. But yeah, anyway, he makes lots of money. But I don't think his YouTube channel is monetized.
Yeah, he does do
Noir,
5 to 6.
Ballistics, all those. 100% monetized. And I guarantee they're making over $15,000 to $20,000 in ad revenue per video.
No, you make about $3,000 to $6,000 per million views. So if you're a Grand Thumb guy, and let's say you were fully monetized on every single video and it hit 1 million views, you'd probably make about $5,000 from that video. Depending on your ad rate, it could go up to $8 or $10 per thousand. So for 1 million, it'd be 10,000, 8,000. But if you're getting like only 500,000 views per video or less, it's obviously half that. So
Per month. So you can do the math on that. So they don't actually need to be shills because they're making plenty of money just
They don't need to be shills because they're already shilling for products. They're already making money, right? And that's the problem with YouTube ad revenue is it's not consistent, which is why even the biggest channels out there do not rely on YouTube ad revenue, not whatsoever. They rely, like my channel relies a lot on viewer support, right? People enjoy what I do. They support the content. Simple as. I don't ask for anything. They choose to do it out of the goodness of their hearts or to troll me, which I personally enjoy as well. Or I get paid by a direct company, Gun.Deals, to just make videos and post them on their channel, right? So it's my videos just posted on their channel. Very simple. But the big guys, they make a lot of money by shilling products, good sir. Most of them, right? Especially people who are really into the affiliate links. And I think we're going to get into the shadier side of things that he's going to talk about in just a moment. Don't forget the years. Yes, big years.
Just on ad revenue alone. And the reason I even bring
boomers, good sir, boomers.
Yeah, boomer cons.
I'm a millionaire. Why would I scam you? That's good. That's good.
All this up is think about.
Oh yeah, Lemon. We should talk about that sometime. Onward Research announcing their new AK rail. I wonder who's actually making that for them. They just bought somebody else's design.
To be shills because they're making plenty of money just on ad revenue alone. And the reason I even bring all this up is think about who's more likely to be a shill. The guy who's making a ton of money off of AdSense revenue, or the guy who doesn't have money that needs money so he can make.
What's funny is he cuts himself out of this argument because he admittedly, or does he still have YouTube ad revenue turned on? Because I know he said he turned it off, but is it still off? He turned it back on. Okay, so he is monetized. So it's like, listen, guys, I make so much money from YouTube and ad links that I don't need to shill. But it's like, well, good sir, one of those things is not like the other. Yeah, I just don't buy this line of argument at all. At all.
Yeah, make more videos. You start thinking about it like that, it might shift your mindset on small channels versus large channels.
So this is the thing that's why I put it in the thumbnail. I was like, wait a second, are we the shills? Like, because he's like, no, guys. It's not the big channels you got to watch out for. It's the small ones, guys. The small channels out there that are nipping at our heels, they're the bad guys. The bad ones, the meanies, not like us. Don't be a meanie, be a good boy. Make lots of money for PSA, good sir. That's how you know you're not a shill. When you have PSA links in all of your videos, that means you're not a shill. Don't shill for PSA, obviously bad person, big meanie. Thing like that.
My opinion, I don't think it matters if they're a large channel or small channel. I think you'll be able to tell in the videos if people are being forthcoming with you. Anytime I've watched videos of people where there's like a scandal that came out about them later on, I always kind of remembered back like, yeah, when I watched their videos, there was something about them that just kind of rubbed me wrong. Like we can all intuitively sense it.
Chat. Can we intuitively sense that things might be off?
I mean, there's always a little something odd, but you don't ever know what it is. Maybe they're shilling products that they shouldn't be. Maybe they're cheating on their wife. Maybe they're engaging in spousal abuse. We don't ever know.
A minute ago, he did mention that all the gun tubers he met, he'd never sensed anything sus about them. But maybe that's because he hadn't met the ones that something sus had come out about later, or a scandal. So maybe those two things are kosher with each other. No pun intended.
Well, he's from, if I remember correctly, he's from Arizona, I believe. So I'm pretty sure he is from Arizona. At least he was doing matches in that general area because of one of the videos I watched of his. He was attending a match in Arizona. Yeah, C2 said, yeah, he's from Arizona. So he knows the Sinister Rifleman and Carl. He knows those guys, right? They attend similar matches.
I think for the 100,000 subscribe, if I ever make it to 100,000 subs, we got to do a Focus Trip Exposed live stream where we go all over all the worst things I've ever done, which I think will be quite funny. There's some comical things in there, some very funny things. But yeah, I think we should do that at 100K. I think that'd be very funny.
You know what? I will even throw it out there that if the Clips channel hits 10K, I will come on and do a tell-all because I have done some
Mm.
pretty despicable things in my past.
Oof. Well, yeah, early life, it's pretty boring, but there's like two funny stories in there. There's two funny stories. So I think those would be fun to go over in a stream at some point.
If that makes sense. Now, to kind of add on to that theory of I only trust channels that are small channels because they spend their own money on the products instead of getting things sent to them, you got to think about it like this. I've been doing this now. This May will be 9 years that we've been doing this on YouTube. There is a theory out there called no price paid, no value perceived. And what that means is when you pay for something, you typically can get something called a choice supportive bias, meaning that you want.
In layman's terms, this is just talking about defending your purchase, basically, right? So people who buy a PSA Jackal or a PSA AK, you know, some people might have done some crazy things getting mad about certain people talking bad about PSA AKs. But if you buy a PSA AK, it has to be the best thing of all time because I spent $699 on that thing. Or realistically now, what did the PSA AKs go for? $1,000 plus? Over $1,000? Right, somewhere like that. So they're not even cheap guns anymore. Like the Jackal's $1,300. It's a mid-tier AR for poor tier performance. So they're not even cheap anymore. But there are certain people that defend their purchase, and some of those people might have YouTube channels and post reviews. Not to the extent that I see. Most people that I watch that post reviews of stuff that they bought are very critical of them because they're like, well, damn it, I spent $1,000 on this and it doesn't perform like $1,000, you know, or at least how I wanted it to in my mind. And that's how I am with my stuff, right? If I buy something and I spend my hard-earned money on it, it had better do exactly what it said it's going to do, because otherwise I'd get very upset at it, right? Because again, it's an inanimate object. It can take the punishment.
Sorry. 19% of USA adults.
Sorry, it's gone. There you go.
19% of USA adults scoring below level 1 can comprehend simple sentences. Press X to doubt, sir.
Can comprehend simple sentences, short paragraphs with minimal structure, but will struggle with multi-step instructions or complex sentences. I mean, I might buy that, depending on who you're looking at. I don't know.
I don't buy it because he even messed up in his own sentence where he was claiming that people.
Well, hey, listen, I can't type either, so it's not that big a deal.
I know. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was ironic.
You talk, this is civilian tactical, of course. You talk a lot about the ills of sponsorships. How do you believe gun channels should make money, and how much can a channel make before it's bad? Hopefully this question makes sense. The channel, well, let's answer the second part first. The channel can make as much money as it wants, and it will never be bad until they lie to their audience, until they smooth over a couple issues with their product. So for instance, things that, you know, like people getting paid $40,000, not to mention battery failures, people getting paid $15,000, not to mention rust on their FN handguns. I wonder who that could have been. But yeah, you know, once you do that, once you start lying to your audience, then it's a problem. Money is not a problem. Well, for most people it is, but you know, just the fact that somebody made $1 million a year off of YouTube, I don't know, good for them, right? Lying, dishonesty is always the problem. So it's not about money. And as far as how should YouTube creators make money, well, that's kind of up to them, you know, as long as you're not lying to your audience or shilling or pushing them to just consume as much product as possible. There are many avenues to make money that don't require selling your soul. They are more difficult and they require a higher level of accountability that most people are not willing to partake in. The quick and easy route is to accept sponsorship money, shut up, and get in line. Or post the affiliate links in every video you ever make, or shill products that you've never really tested, or take an ad read from a sketchy company. And we've all seen them do it, right? But you don't have to. You can make lots of money talking about good products or talking about things that you believe in that are important to you. Don't have to lie.
I think being upfront and honest with your viewer base is probably the best way to make money, because if you provide something valuable for them, 9 times out of 10, they will say thank you and want to help out because you provided a service for them, something tangible that they can use, right? And I just think that
Well, that's the thing with integrity. Shadow Force CQB has a good point. Integrity should not be for sale because here's the thing: you can sell it once, but you can never buy it back.
It's like something
With all,
else.
with all the money in the world, congratulations! Buy yourself a golden coffin. Great job. All right, I got 2 minutes left.
Want to justify the purchase to yourself because you spent so much on it. And so even if the product sucks, sometimes people will rationalize it and say, yeah, I bought it because
I do the opposite, right? Oh, it's okay, therefore it's bad, right? If you set your standards higher, everything is like mediocre, okay, right? It's like if you watch a Ben Steger video talking about a $6,000 Atlas and he's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Because he's not like enamored with the item. Or some people be like, bro, this is the ultimate cheat code of a gun. It's amazing, bro. It's like, or it's okay. It does what it's supposed to do. It's a gun. It doesn't have feelings. You don't need to praise it. It's fine.
of this. And I bring that up because I do buy these guns. I just don't pay for them with money. I pay for them with blood, sweat, tears,
And what else?
Just a question. Exactly how many liquids were exchanged for this product? just one question. No, almost never. Like, when somebody says like, oh my gosh, this gun is great, usually the follow-up question should be, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, I pulled the doohickey and like the bullet like went into the target. Oh, like great, right? It's like, no. That's the baseline. That's what it's supposed to do. Like, for something to actually be great or to be praiseworthy, like it's got to do something. It's not a toddler. Like, if a toddler brings me a crayon painting, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I love you very much. Wow, I'll give you a nice little hug, right? If a gun like does the bare minimum, it's not getting a hug. It's getting sold or thrown in the trash, right? It's an inanimate object. It doesn't care. It doesn't need your emotional support. It's just an item.
I think that if you praise your guns, then they will be more prone to letting you down in the future. Whereas if you scold them, they will constantly work harder to try and impress you. I think that's how that works. Pretty sure.
Yes. I just throw out good vibes, positive energy rays on my firearms before I shoot them to make sure they don't jam up on me.
It's science. It works.
Good question.
time. Just because they sent it out for a review doesn't mean that
what does an ADM go for? Like $3,000? I mean, $3,000 for a production fee, that's not bad, considering that's $6,000 worth of ammo. Or sorry, 6,000 rounds worth of ammo. Ugh. So I mean, that's you can put a lot through that.
Instantly going to just say positive things about it because I didn't have to pay for it out of pocket. I really don't have any emotional attachment to this, which allows me as a person to be more objective and forthcoming with the pros and the cons of the product. That might just be me. I don't know if everyone's like that, but I tend to be able to be more honest about products that I didn't have to spend money on versus.
Why?
Well, that's the thing. It's weird because I'm like, what do you mean more honest? What do you mean? Do you mean you were less honest before, or you're just more honest now? Like, I don't get it. It's like the proper answer is to be like, listen, it doesn't affect me either way. Like that's what you should say if that's true. But I mean, more honest implies the possibility of less honesty, which is not ideal as a reviewer, I suppose. It's a little strange.
Just products that were sent to the channel. And over time, when you've been doing this for like 9 years, a gun shows up that costs a few grand and you're like, all right, cool, let's just go do the video now. Like, you're not thinking of it like this makes me a better person. Well,
that's what it should be. It should be mundane. It should be normal. It should be just another item. So that I agree with 100%.
Things happen all the time. It's not a big deal anymore. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any other reasons that you shouldn't trust a gun review, let me know down in the comments section. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. But until next time, I love you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Randy reviews it, says, yeah, but 20% affiliate on a $3,000 gun is better than a 20% affiliate on a $300 gun. So it's in their interest to sell the most expensive item. Yeah. Or like I said, just buy whatever it is. Just buy it off their website. Buy now. Buy two. You will surely not regret buying two back to back to back. Give them your credit card information. John Smith for $4.99. So this is perfect because he asks for recommendations of what makes you not trust a reviewer. He says, just got here, so not sure if it's been said, but the biggest red flag to me on any reviewer is not having any criticisms or every video is only positive. Yeah, no, I know people that I have like an amount of respect for that don't post negative videos. They do the review testing and then just don't post the video. And I'm like, well, is that like lying by omission? Or is that just like to protect your, like, I don't know. It just seems strange to me. That seems strange to me. Like it, again, it's like, it's an item. Like you can be mean to it. It's okay. Logan sucks at shooting for $5 says with the donation. Oh, we already looked at that one. Sorry. My bad. But yes, it is there. And that is the general fund. Mike Mo Ready for $4.99 says, hey, John, saw in one of your previous videos that you were using an infinity target. Did you like it or do you prefer cardboard and pasters? Thanks, man. The infinity target might be a better value than cardboard, depending how much use you get out of your cardboard, because I think they're like $100, which is very expensive, which I think is the same cost as like 30 cardboard targets, but they last approximately the same time, roughly, let's say. So it's like, one is more weather resistant and uses cans of paint, which you have to factor in that cost as well. And then the other one just uses pasters. My infinity target is destroyed. It's done. It's donezo. But it's sitting in my garage still, so I should probably talk about that at some point. But it's not like fantastic value. It's just okay.
Don't those last longer if you're not shooting pistol rounds? If you're just shooting 5.56 or 22?
The smaller diameter bullets, the better. I don't think you could shoot 22 actually, because if 22 deforms, it'll take more out of it. So 5.56 and no hollow points, of course, because hollow points will just tear it up.
Yeah, see, that seems like it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, there are some downsides to it. So it's a tricky value proposition, which is why I just use paper USPSA targets.
Yeah, paper targets like. My local gun shop, they give out paper targets for free.
Well, so I get the full size USPSA targets, I think for like 15 cents a piece. Like if I buy like 50 at a time, they're not very expensive. So that's what I go with. Stealth for $5 says he's not only incentivized to give good reviews, but to make his video and convince people there is no inherent incentive to affiliates. Exactly. It's like, listen, guys, the big channels don't have any reason to lie to you because we don't need your money. However, I do make 95% of my money through affiliate sales. So if you could please click the link down below. Right? I mean, that's his position. He makes most of his money through affiliate links. Yeah. Mark 199 says, looking forward to his claimed Jackal review. Well, good news, good sir, is that was made. That was made a while ago. It's called the must-have gun of 2024, which was made over 2 years ago now. So this review, it has nearly 1 million views. That's pretty good. That's not bad.
So is this the gun to get in 2023? I've heard a lot of people say that its main competitor is an FN. Now,
so my question, because I think this video was originally titled "Must Have Gun of 2023."
Oh, well, was made. I guess he must have updated the title to keep it better in the algorithm. That's my guess.
And to continue to push affiliate links.
Well, again, we looked at the affiliate links already, but it is like you click on that link and it is just, here's the video. And then here's this Jackal, here's this combo, and it's all just affiliate links, right? Which is fine, right? But if you're going to say that, like, I'm not influenced by affiliate sales and then push a ton of affiliate sales and then say that 95% of your money comes from affiliate sales, I might think you're a little bit biased towards affiliate sales.
Possibly.
Yeah. It's only March. Yeah, it needs to update to 2025.
I can see why, because of the monolithic upper, right? It looks like a scar. I've even seen...
Sorry, I want to get through like the first 4 minutes of this video because it's kind of funny.
People get an ACR stock that goes on here, and then they get this Haga Defense brace conversion, and they can basically make it look like a mini scar. If you
well, so if you put an ACR stock on the Jackal, it kind of looks like an ACR, not like a Scar, but to each their own.
Remove the monolithic feature though, this gun isn't anything like a Scar. So welcome back everybody, hope you guys are doing awesome today. So this is the PSA Jack, and this gun has been teased for a few years now, and they finally released it as of a couple of months ago, and I've currently got about 650-ish rounds through it right now. And the craziest part is these things have been selling out like crazy. It's almost like the moment they come in stock, they sell out. Because I saw them selling out so fast, I requested to get one so we could do a review on them because I wanted to see what the heck was so special about them. So in today's video, we're gonna go over the Jackal in depth. We're gonna take a look.
Free product, affiliate links. It's all the hallmarks of a perfect review right off the bat. Love it. Low round count as well, 600 rounds, perfect. And now I think he's also going to recommend 2 different versions of the Jackal, 1 in 300 blackout, which I'm not sure he shot that much
At all.
I mean,
just got the one.
Yeah, it's like no, not another Jackal Scar comparison. Criterion is good.
I would rather take the Scar comparison versus the MCX we have at home comparison.
Yeah.
Unique to other types of guns. We're going to take a look at some of its so-called competitors, and then we are going to compare it to an AK, but more importantly, we're going to compare it to another piston-driven gun, the BRN 180S. Now,
the 180s do look sick. I kind of do want to get a 180. That's the one thing that I will say. Yeah. I played around with one a little bit, but I actually want to get one and run it a bunch.
If you are interested in checking these guys out and picking something up for yourself, follow the very first link in the video description, or that link will also be pinned in the comments. That way you don't got to go Googling stuff and trying to find stuff in stock. You can
just use my...
You can't Google it.
Out and picking something up for yourself, follow the very first link in the video description, or that link will also be pinned in the comments. That way you don't got to go Googling stuff and trying to find stuff in stock. You can just simply click. Also, a huge update, if you've watched any of my...
He doesn't even mention that it's an affiliate link. Come on, man. He's like, they sent me the gun and I make money if you buy something. Come on, you got to say that at least. Oh, I do also love his favorite channels to watch. Number 1, Colleen Noir, Brand Thumb, Demo Ranch, Kentucky Ballistics, Mr. Gunsegear. I like Mr. Gunsegear. Warrior Poet, and Brandon Herrera.
I wonder if he was a part of Leviathan at the time.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I can figure that out later.
What's this bottom link? I didn't look at this one. Oh, dear. Okay, so this is his new, this is like his homepage link or something. Tacticaltoolbox.com/deals1.
Which implies that there's
that's just his generic, like where you go for all of his stuff, like a campsite or a link tree or something, but it's just his own personal one, so they can't kick him off, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
5 or 6 videos, you guys would know that YouTube has been taking down a ton of my videos. In the most recent ones they removed them because I linked to a tutorial on a separate website. And see, that's never been against YouTube's policies. They've always said you just can't upload tutorials on YouTube. But now they're saying you can't link to the tutorials either. So if you hate censorship and you just want to help the 2A community as a whole, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you're already subscribed, hit the notification bell. Also, do a double and triple check that you are subscribed to this channel. I've seen countless comments of people saying that.
Can we get to the video?
Hit the subscribe button on a particular video. It will take this time and time again over the past 6 or 7 videos now, and it's working tremendous who haven't been reached yet. The long and short of it is this is kind of an AK/AR-15 hybrid. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you would know that
I think it's just a long stroke piston AR, basically, you know, mostly. I mean, the only thing that it has like an AK is the long stroke piston system. But other than that, that's it. It's like, are all long stroke piston systems AKs? I think so.
That means that even the M1 is also?
Yes. No, yeah, they're all M1 clones. That's a good point.
Is to reach the people who haven't been reached yet. The long and short of it is this is kind of an AK/AR-15 hybrid. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you would know that although I really enjoy the AK.
Yes, Jeremy. Yes, it is. I should do a video just titled like, listen guys, I'm not a shill, but the entire time I only talk about liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, my website, and like right at the 8-minute mark, I just cut off the video right as I'm about to say something about a product. And it's just 8 minutes of straight shilling. And ooh, April Fool's is coming up. Ooh, I could do that.
Don't forget to add 4 or 5 fake ads. Like you're sponsored by water, sponsored by air.
Oh, dude, that's good. That's good.
A platform. I think it's a fun gun to shoot. There are a few drawbacks to the AKs that I just personally don't like. The number one thing I don't like about AKs is the recoil impulse. AKs don't have high recoil. They just have bouncy or jerky recoil. And I think Aaron Cowan from Sage Dynamics said it.
Jerk my AK.
I don't know. They're 7.62 by 39 kicks a little bit more. Some people don't like it. I think it's fine.
Best when he said, recoil is stupid. Why have it if you don't have to have it? And I totally agree with that. Some people think that recoil proves your manliness, especially people that like to shoot handguns. They think, oh,
damn it, you killed it. Unbelievable. Splinter, yes, splinter-free toilet paper while showing like sandpaper or something. That's a good idea.
oh, why do you need to compensate a 9mm? Why do you need to do this? You don't need to do anything. But if you ever had to defend your life, recoil is definitely not going to help you. The second thing I don't typically like about AKs are the manual of arms. In particular, I don't like the safety mechanism on the side. You can only operate it with your index finger, whether you're engaging it or disengaging it. Whereas with an AR platform, I can disengage it or re-engage it with my thumb. And if I have an ambi system, I can do it with my index finger as well. The second thing I don't like about the manual of arms is I don't like the magazine release. You have to either hit it with another magazine and knock this out.
Listen, all right. The manual of arms of an AK has been operated by no, I can't say that. Has
Child
been
soldiers.
operated child soldiers in many conflicts around the world. It is not a big deal. It's not difficult. If you practice a tiny bit, it's fine. You may not like it, but it's not difficult. It's literally designed for conscripts to use. It'll be okay.
Or pinch it with your thumb. I also don't like the way that you reinstall the magazines. You have to hit them at the right angle, pull down in order.
Yes, sub-Saharan. That is what I meant.
To seat the magazines properly. And to me, that's just a lot of thinking and fine motor skills involved. I also don't like that it doesn't have a last rail and bolt hold open because this isn't ambidextrous charging. You have to either do the reach under and charge it like this, or you have to reach over like this. For the way that I like to operate a
It's called the reach around, good sir, the reach around.
Rifle or a pistol, I just don't prefer those things. I'm not saying that these things are bad. I'm just saying these are kind of things that annoy me about an AK. The Jackal actually takes the things that we love about an AK.
So this is the joke that we'll end on, right? So the AK has a reciprocating charging handle versus the soaking charging handle on the Jackal, which means it's much better. But anyways, this was back in 2023, January 3rd of 23 when he posted this video. Nearly 1 million views, pretty good. Lots of affiliate sales. And I mean, if we talk about affiliate sales, like people have been telling me numbers from different people. Certain people are making 6 figures a month off of PSA affiliate sales, which is absolutely insane, right? That's crazy money to be made. And that kind of money might lead people to shill for them. You know,
there is
that might color your opinions a little bit. $100,000 slid across your desk might change some people's opinions.
It could. One more thing I want to touch on before we close out and get out of here is the last way that he mentioned that they get paid is they get sent guns, right? No money is exchanging hands. They're just getting a gun for the review.
Well, but the no money changing hands thing, I'm just going to say it. No money changing hands is a lie. If you are making thousands of dollars on affiliate sales, there is money changing hands. There just
100%.
You're just
100%.
lying. You're just lying at that point. You got free product. You got affiliate links out the wazoo, which you're making thousands and thousands of dollars off of. Allegedly, some of these people, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it's just like, I don't know. You're lying.
So
Big L.
If you do this for 9 years and you get sent product for, we'll say, at least 4 or 5 of this, at what point in time do you have to take out a loan to buy a second storage facility or a second home just to keep your safes in, right?
Well, that's called the cost of living, right? Because people get normalized to a certain level of living. Like, so for instance, when I was working retail at 16 years old versus, being older now, I don't really live that much better. I live in a house with my wife and 3 kids and whatnot. But if you got accustomed to driving really nice cars or living in really big houses, those aren't cheap. And those require money, which means that, yeah, you make a lot of money, but now you spend a lot of money. So now you got to protect your investment. Protect that cash flow, some might say. So, which is why you might be prompted to remake a video from 5 years ago talking about small channels being shills and big channels being good because they don't need the money or something like that. A very silly video, very silly video. So those are my thoughts and opinions on shillery and YouTube reviews in general. Let's see your headset dent. Is it bad? Oh, wait, it moved. Is it bad? It's probably pretty bad. Oh, look at that. That's pretty bad. I've got headphone hair. Chuck for $5 says, I don't think a channel should make money because it's a channel. You have to add value to the audience. Once there is value, the money should come. Yeah. And that's what I try to do. I don't sell merch. I've gotten away from all my affiliate sales. Yeah, so it's mostly just from this channel specifically is all audience supported. So you guys make it happen. You like what you like, or you don't, and you go away, and I disappear back into the ether to go get a regular job again, which would not be a problem. Up until December, also. Up until December, I was a delivery driver. So, I mean, like, I still work side jobs and do all the other things. So, not a big deal. I'd rather work 4 jobs working for myself to, than just work at some corporate office with my degree.
That's right.
John Shepard. Yeah. John Shepard for $2 says, is the dot on his jackal backwards? It's one of those Viridian knockoff dots. So it could be backwards. It could be for a meme. I'm not sure. Maybe he just mounted it funny for the video. It would be quite funny if it was backwards though. And it was just slapped on there for the video, right? So that it has an optic on it. Cause optics don't always go on PSA guns, let's say. Lizana, 715 for $2 says, holy crap, that looks heavy. Yeah, I think the Jackals naked are around 8 pounds or something. Fairly heavy guns.
Naked Jackal.
Yeah. DM Louise for $2 says, channel brought to you by morons in the... Yes, literally sponsored by morons in the chat.
Speaking of morons,
I feel like if I started out the stream with like a 6-minute ad read, I feel like you guys wouldn't like it very much. So I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of morons, we do have a Discord.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It does exist.
We should, post the, do you have the...
I got you. 1 second.
Pull that up. Yeah, because join the Discord. There's lots of fun people in there. I usually try and hang out before the streams at least. So if you ever want to talk to me and just chill, hang out, usually a good time. I see there's some people in the voice chat right now. If you want to hop over to the Discord, because we're going to be getting out of here. So once Richard sends that to me, I guess we can get out of here. Upcoming next week, I have another match on Thursday, which should be good. Goal is always to win. Of course, I've never placed lower than second, so should win, hopefully. If I actually do what I'm supposed to do, I should win. But then, very importantly, on Saturday, I have my 6 qualifiers. So there will be no stream next Friday night because I will be 4 hours away because I'm not driving 8 hours 2 days in a row. So I'll be spending the night down there. So hopefully at that point, we will have our rating and we can see if I can meme my way into mastery because that would be quite funny. Richard, did you get it?
Yep, I'm posting it right now. It is going in the chat right now.
In the private chat?
No, I opened up on my phone. I've been having it right.
Okay, I will. Yeah, so that is the link in chat, and we are going to go ahead and get out of here. There will be some silly little music to show you on your way as you shuffle on out, and I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless. Also, check out that link we posted earlier to give to the victims of the natural disaster in Missouri. So, and thank you guys for being so generous. I appreciate you all. I love you. Richard, thanks for hanging out. And with all that out of the way, gentlemen, God bless.